What is up, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of The Real Talk with Silos. I'm your host, Silos, and today we're back with another spoiler review of the one and only Crisis. This is part 2 of Crisis, and I'm just going to jump right into it. There will be spoilers that I'll be saying, so if you haven't seen it, definitely go watch it and come back and get crazy in the comments. But yeah, guys, without further ado, it was amazing. I mean, I enjoyed it personally, and I know a lot of people. So we got to see Brandon Routh, we got to see Kevin Conroy, and we got to see Tom Welling in this episode. And I know a lot of people are going to be upset with how they put together Tom Welling, but to be honest with you, I've been a fan since Smallville started, and I will always be a fan. And believe it or not, this was very warming for me because we got to see those characters again. And I felt like the way that they handled those characters, yeah, I would have liked to seen Tom Welling put the suit on, Tom Welling get into action and fight with us. But the fact that, again, spoilers if you guys haven't seen it, the fact that he chose his family over having his powers, it's such a Tom Welling Superman thing to do, because throughout the whole series of Smallville, and even throughout the series, in some episodes, he gave up his powers to be human. And that was one of the main things that iteration of Superman wanted to be. He wanted to be a human. He wanted to live his life, a normal life. And he did that so he could have a child with Lois. And yeah, that's what happened. And it was, at first I was like, man, I wanted to see him. I'm wearing the Smallville jacket and stuff, but seeing it was like I said, it was very warming, because it was like they stayed very true to the character, and that's one thing that I could only ask for. And it was crazy. Now I'm switching over to Kevin Conroy. It was crazy seeing that kind of Batman and the way that they did it, and how Kane was the one who killed him and all that stuff. Again, spoilers. I'm spoiling, and I'm just going rambling off of what I remember. I just finished watching it right now. So, that iteration, it kind of reminded me of a Dark Knight, like the Dark Knight Returns, Batman. He's older and stuff like that, and he ends up killing Superman. And so I see that, and then that voice, that all you hear is that voice, that iconic voice. So it was very cool seeing it, and I like what they did with it. It's something different, guys. And please, with all the comments of all these hate on Crisis, guys, we're only in the second episode in, okay? Like, yesterday, I was so excited. I'm so happy, and I still am. And I'm not letting these bad negativity comments of Crisis ruin my experience of watching it. It's just, why are people why do they feel the need that they need to express so much negativity about a show? It's like, dude, somebody created something. Just watch it and enjoy it. Yeah, we may not have gotten what we wanted right away, but it's like, dude, we got something. We got everything that could never happen, which is having all these superheroes in one show. And you have to think about it. It's an hour. They could only do so much. Like, open your mind, guys. Open your love, and just pretend like you're reading a comic book. Like just for all these people who are criticizing it, and they say that, oh, it's not true to the comics, and then be a comic book fan and just enjoy what's given to you. You don't go and tell a comic book writer, oh my God, I don't believe this. This is not my Superman, because he's writing the story. You just sit there, open the book, and enjoy it. Just open your eyes and ears and enjoy the freaking show. I'm loving it. All right? And I'm not promoting McDonald's, but I'm just saying, like, I'm loving it. Like, I love the show. It's amazing, And like I said, at first, yes, I was like, damn, I wanted to see Tom Welling, do more. But then when I thought about it, I was like, freaking, what, 10 seasons? 22 episodes each season? Like, I've grown with this character. Like, I grew up watching Tom Welling. So it's like, seeing how he portrayed Clark in Smallville is like, the way that they did this, the way that they closed this chapter of Smallville, it's like we actually got a closing. It's like, this is what would have happened. He was Superman. We saw the newspapers. We saw, the articles and stuff. He saved the world countless times. He was the only, he, by right mind, the way they did that show and the way that he portrayed that character, he was the only Superman who, when given the chance, he could take that time off to be a family man. And the thing is, it's not like he just gave up on being Superman. If you guys don't remember in the show, the Smallville show, they had a whole crew of team, of all different heroes and everything. They even had a Superboy in that show. So for all we know, that Superboy is Superman. So, I know a lot of people are going to be upset about it, but I love it. It was great, and I'm ready for tomorrow. I saw Black Lightning afterwards too. Again, it's been a very rough season for Black Lightning. This has honestly probably been my only favorite episode because it ties into Crisis at the very end. And that's the only reason why I like this episode. And I mean, like, one thing I can't say about the show, and I love the show, is that the music and the score of each episode is just amazing. It just feels the vibe. You feel the story moving. It's like the music moves the story. So that's what I really liked about it. Now, I know I just gave a lot of slack to people talking about these shows. I'm not trying to exclude myself, but I've literally seen every episode of Arrow from start to the end, season 1 to season 8. I've seen every episode of Supergirl, start to finish, bad or good. Seen every episode of Flash. I've so far seen every episode of Batwoman, every episode of Black Lightning. So I have a right to complain about certain stuff if I don't like it. Now, I'm not saying that you guys don't have a right to say anything you want, but I'm just saying, if you're going to complain about something, please watch the show at its entirety and at least give it a shot. All right. And for one thing, I'm going to put this out there. We need to stop comparing everything to Marvel. Yes, Marvel is amazing. And I love Marvel. Even though I'm a DC guy, I love Marvel. But stop trying to compare everything to everything because we're so different. All right. Everybody's trying to compare Endgame to freaking Crisis. And yes, there's very much similarities. But you got to remember, we only have an hour each day. So it's 5 hours. With not a movie budget, a TV show budget. And with what we're getting, like today now I'm going to dive into Brandon Routh. Because that was probably the best thing, the most amazing thing about this whole thing, is that fight with Tyler Hoechlin and Brandon Routh in the city of Metropolis, flying around. And the one thing I said in my one of my older videos was that I hope that they kept the different heat vision. Because in Brandon Routh's Superman Return, he had the little lasers. It was like just a little red line. And then we had Tyler Hoechlin's, which is the blue beams, kind of like Man of Steel. And then, with Tom Welling, it was the fire coming out of his eyes that was just turning. We didn't get to see Tom Welling's because, again, he gave up his powers. But with Brandon Routh, they stay so true to it. And then the theme song of Christopher Reeve and everything. And he even referenced Christopher Reeve's third movie when he fights himself, because he ends up fighting Tyler Hoechlin. So he's like, oh, no worries, this isn't the first time I fought myself, which is referencing Superman 3 with Christopher Reeves and Richard Gere, which was amazing. Like all these little things, the theme song when he's just standing around and you just hear the old Superman theme song, it's just like, it was beautiful. It was like, this is my Superman, And Brandon Routh got ripped for this episode of this iteration of Superman. Like, I wish this iteration of Brandon Routh Superman was in Superman Returns, But, and they kept true to the story. He's had his son Jason. I don't remember in Superman Returns he had a son. I don't remember his kid's name in that, because we find out that the kid at the end, who's Lois' son, ends up being Superman's son. Spoiler alert to Superman Returns, but that ends up being Superman's son. I don't remember his name. I think it was Jason. Maybe that's him. So I have no clue. It was cool seeing Ray Palmer and Clark Kent, interact. That was cool. And when Carl finding out that it kind of threw me back to when we first had our crossover, that Brandon Routh was like, she reminds me of my cousin. So that was pretty cool because he used to be Superman. So yeah, guys, I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. You know, I'm watching it with my Smallville jacket. You know, I'm getting all into it. And I hope you guys do too. Again, you know, I'm not saying that you guys don't have the right to have your own opinion and do that. It's just, it's really bothered me to see a lot of people complain about this. And it's like most of the people who are complaining about it are just complaining because they don't understand what's going on. And it's because they haven't sat down and got the time to look at these shows, which I'm not saying that they're good and they're perfect, because they're not. You know, every show has its flaws. And, you know, personally, it's just, I feel like all this that's being done is for the fans like me, or fans that have sit there and seen every episode. And this is all we've dreamt of from Smallville, you know, and till now. And it's like, you know, sometimes you just have to lessen your wants, I guess, or stop feeling so entitled. I don't know how else to say it, guys. You know, so I'm gonna let it just end right there. And please get in the comments. Let me know what you guys thought of part 2 of Crisis. And yeah, let's dive deep. Let's get some spoilers in there. If I missed anything, let me know. You know, I'm definitely gonna be watching this again. I'll probably watch it again in an hour or so. But yeah, one thing I have been thinking about, because we still haven't seen a lot of the people crossing over. Supposedly there's supposed to be a whole bunch of people. We're supposed to see a Birds of Prey from the old, I think it was 2000s or 90s show. It's a Birds of Prey. And then we're supposed to see the new Stargirl. We're supposed to see a whole bunch of people, and we haven't seen any. So like, who knows what's to come. What I was gonna say was, I'm thinking, because I know DC just made that big deal to where we're gonna have Stargirl is gonna be airing on DC Universe app, and then the next day you're gonna be able to see it on CW. Now, with that being said, I hope this means that the CW will be moving their superhero shows just the day after to stream for free onto the DC Universe app, because that would be really cool for people who have DC Universe. Could just go on there to see their CW shows. And, you know, for the people who don't have DC Universe, they will go onto CW to see the Stargirl show. Then they'll see the ads and want to go get the DC Universe. So that would be pretty cool, because I think that'll be a really smart move. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree on that, or if you think that's a good idea, or if they're even going to do that, because I don't know. This is just my thoughts, and I think that it'll work on it. But yeah, guys, I'll definitely be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we have the last, the third part, which is the last till January of the Crisis. So it's going to be on Flash. Yeah, like I said, I saw Black Lightning at the end. It tied into Crisis and how we're going to see him tomorrow. So yeah, tomorrow will be the last one until January 14th, where we're going to have 2 episodes. It's going to be a 2-hour grand finale event to Crisis. So I am ready. I am excited. Without further ado, guys, I'll let you get out of here. Please like, subscribe, and put that bell notification on. And I'll be back here tomorrow with another video. All right, guys, stay cool, and I'll see you in the next video.